you should not manipulate on your own based on your knowledge. Okay, because in this case, if BP is 150/90, so you can assume that it is hypertension, but there might be certain scenarios where those terms might alter the adverse event itself. So you should not try to manipulate on your own. And judgmental comments should be avoided due to legal implications. If there is any overdose or medication error cases, you should not write in such a way it is because of overdose like that. Okay, so you have to write in such a way that whatever is in the source document. Okay, and narratives should aid in the overall medical assessment of case report and benefit risk assessments. So the purpose of writing this narrative is to give a clinical scenario so that whoever is performing the medical reviews, that is the medical assessments like seriousness assessment, expectedness assessment, and causality assessment, they are able to make the decision with that narrative. Okay. Narratives aid in providing weight of evidence while doing signal detection in an aggregate reviews was line listings. Okay, this is little bit advanced. In the case like whatever the ICSRs we are processing, in the later stages, we will be retrogradely analyzing all these datas. Okay, to perform signals. In such situations, again the physicians will go and review the safety narratives to see that whether the adverse event what we have submitted could be a signal or not. So if we are writing a quality narrative, it not only helps now in later stages of analyzing signals and writing any aggregate reviews, this is going to be definitely helpful. And then ICH E2B, all expedited case serious, unexpected and non-serious unlisted cases. For all these cases, we will be writing narratives. In this narrative writing, for performing expectedness assessment, that is listedness assessment, we use RSI, IB. Okay. So these are the key things what you have to keep in mind while before writing a narrative, and this is the main crux of today's class. This is how you have to write the narrative. You have to keep all these 8 sections in mind, and all these the details of this will be in the source document. What you have to do is you have to just write it in such a way that it creates a clinical scenario. So these are the 8 sections that you have to always keep in mind while drafting a narrative. So the first one is source of report and patient's demographics. Source of report, like either it is clinical trial or post-marketed, like that, whatever is mentioned, you have to mention in that narrative. And then patient demographics like age and country of origin, like that the patient demographic details should be mentioned. The second thing what you have to mention is medical and drug history. Okay, so relevant past medical history and relevant drug history, any drug history he has other than this suspect medication. And third thing is suspect drug information. Okay, so what are the medication he is taken before that adverse event, and also few concomitant medications. Okay, this is not put up in this slide. Okay, you just focus here that along with suspect drug information, any concomitant medications that is taken, that should also be mentioned in this narrative. Okay, and then clinical scenario of adverse drug reactions. So out of all these 8 sections, this is going to be the time consuming section, because this you have to write on your own. Okay, the rest other things, if you see the source document, it will be there. You're just literally going to write it, copy paste it. But this clinical scenario, you have to understand what happened and you have to write exactly without any manipulation. Okay, and this will be the most time consuming thing. So for students, whoever they are writing this safety narratives, we encourage them to write this clinical scenario first, so that the rest other things can be copy pasted and we can get the format at the earliest. Then we have to write the outcome of adverse drug reactions. Outcome, what happened to the adverse drug event.